Y-Wing was more expensive than the X-Wing and had a lot more limitations. And only talented X-Wing pilots were even given a chance to fly the A-Wing because it was just that difficult. The T-47 Airspeeder is another Incom Corporation product, and it exists within the Incom ecosystem of control systems. And so the T-47 handles just like the T-16 and even the T-65B X-Wing. It's actually really brilliant that Incom is able to do this, and their large and loyal fan base is to the point where the success of the game. If you look at the Battle of Hoth, a group of and they're pretty quickly equipped, but they only come out on 8,000 credits for free. It took a while for the rebels to start manufacturing the X-Wing, and while the P-65B played a huge role in fighting against the Empire at Scarif and Yavin 4. For all the years before that, all the rebellion basically had were the RZ-1A wings and another ship, the Y-Wing. The Y-Wing was a Clone Wars era ship, and the rebellion liked it so much that they had their own modification designated the BTLA-4 Y-Wing variant. This was just a Y-Wing with a the rear gunner turret was also removed to safely, but it not like the pilot spare back in the first place. What really made the Y-Wing such a hit for the rebellion, as we mentioned in our affordable ship list, is just how cheap it was. Oftentimes, you could find a Y-Wing that was in decent shape for only around 60,000 credits, around the same price as a TIE fighter, and much less than half the price of an X-Wing. Sometimes rebel spec ops groups would just steal Y-Wings from Imperial junkyards as well, so those were free basically. All you really need is an astromech, and they can basically jury-rig a slave controller and pilot a whole wing of Y-Wings by themselves. And so the Y-Wings are really fast enough as well as the Y-Wing perform the Rebel Alliance wanted more. A capital ship busting blockade smashing. This is where the B-Wing comes into play. Designed by Slane and Corporal, you can tell by the vertical line of the ship on the right. The B-Wing had a ridiculous amount of weaponry stationed on board, but the ship was as unwieldy as it was powerful, and it couldn't do anything well aside from flying a straight line. It was also a difficult ship to fly because its cockpit was designed around a gyroscopic control system. Of course, these guys stole ships. They also used Clone Wars era ships, which we'll probably cover the price of those when we're actually doing the Republic. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys want to see next for Rebel Alliance capital ship, or should we go on to Imperial Starfighters first? Now, the Galactic Empire is known for its tyranny, which is enforced by its massive military-industrial complex. Now, I would argue that the Galactic Empire, because for someone in the entire galaxy, Empire has one Galactic Empire. And so the Empire Starfighter doctrine was not based entirely on tactical or strategic needs. The Imperial class focused more heavily on affordability and streamlining the production process. And so with the TIE Fighter line, we'll see some similarities with Incom. Most of the TIE Fighters shared very similar controls, they had shared parts and components, and it was easy for mechanics to get certification across the entire line of TIE we have to remember that the military went through a huge transition process from the Grand Army of the Republic to the Galactic Empire military. So many of the first fighters bearing the Empire symbol were Clone Wars era starfighters, and many of the pilots were still clones. The Alpha 3 Nimbus Class B-Wing was a Quad Systems engineering entry into the war. It combines the Delta ship with the Delta 7 reactor, which I think it lines as a paradise. TIE fighter stands for. The B-1 was eventually created as a reaction to battle, of course not politically, or to several lines in anti-drone fighters. The Republic branch, which came from the Imperial High Command, which changed their starfighter doctrine to favor smaller and more maneuverable ships. The B-wing was not pressurized until about the third second all time. The ship also didn't have any hyperdrive. And at a steep price of 120,000 credits per unit, the B-wing was almost twice the price of a B-19 foreign starfighter, which it was replacing. And so the Alpha 3 Nimbus would be replaced as soon as the TIE fighter line was ready. The TIE fighter prototype would be the future of the Empire. It was developed by Rick Senior, head of Senior Fleet Systems. Interestingly enough, Senior Fleet Systems was a very small manufacturer. So he fell off the paper with the Empire shortly after the war ended. Senior Fleet Systems began designing more aeronautical and exotic like Company's own fighter craft in Europe, which was rumored to be a custom job built by Senior himself. Senior Systems would also develop a carry-on Spike Corvette, an extremely expensive and high-tech fully cloaked stealth ship for a global target. Eventually, Rick Senior's TIE fighter prototype would be selected as a TIE in-space fighter would be one of the most widely manufactured starfighters in the life history. They could be found in every corner of the Empire, stationed on tiny remote outposts at a rim or inside a massive superstar first guarded to the core. But this wasn't a one-size-fits-all type of multi-purpose starfighter like the B-65 X-Wing. The TIE LN was painfully limited because of cost-saving issues with its design, and also the Zero Navy doctrine, which relied on moored battleships for most of its operations. The TIE LN was mainly dedicated to light interception duties. This became increasingly important once ship designers realized that the Empire Star Destroyer fleet, for the most part, lacked adequate point defense weapons. The TIE LN was a very useful dogfighter, but its limited range, lack of hyperdrive, light support, and unfortunately, a lot of very talented Imperial pilots lost their lives because the TIE fighter lacked the very standard safety mechanisms.
Alright.
To say that the TIE fighter was garbage, travel really need to spec this starfighter. It was dangerous. Plus, its airframe design, which almost lacked any moving parts, meant that only 5% of TIE fighters this was really a superbly designed ship from a manufacturing, maintenance, and logistical standpoint. Even if you're a pilot and a TIE fighter, you're highly exchangeable. You weren't just assigned one specific TIE fighter, you just got one that was fueled up and ready to go. And so the Empire security here looks a lot more like an efficient corporation like Amazon, which boils down its manpower into numbers and figures on an app. But to write off this spectacular cost-saving engineering marvel just because it underperformed at 3 battles is most unfortunate. The standard TIE fighter only costs 60,000 credits, about 2 to 3 times less than an X-Wing or an A-Wing. And while I like X-Wings and A-Wings more than the TIE fighter, I'm not going to take those ships over 3 TIE fighters. It's just not a fair match. Another early TIE fighter was the TIE SA Bomber. This was a slightly larger and better armored craft, which featured a second munitions pod which was full of proton torpedoes, bombs, and other goodies. The TIE Bomber was mainly designed to go up against heavy fortifications or larger catapult ships, but since the Empire faced a small mobile rebel group like guerrilla tactics, the TIE Bomber's role became less important. The ship featured the bent wing shape of the prototype TIE Advance flown by Vader, combined with an upgraded power plant, making it almost as fast as an A-Wing. The Interceptor also featured 4 wings and Nicknamed the TIE Brute, the TIE Heavy Starfighter was equipped with life support and a pressurized cockpit. It also had a reinforced transparent steel viewport. The cockpit was off-centered and credits, but it was slow, clunky, it lacked shields, and heavily underperformed on the battlefield. The wind resistance, however, is always a problem, and a TIE Fighter Force solar panels act like sails and crosswind when it hits it. The TIE Experimental Air Superiority Fighter addressed that problem by redesigning the S-fold into a more suitable blade shape. It immediately became one of the best atmospheric fighters in the galaxy, with an impressive top speed of around 1,500 kilometers per hour. But I know compared to our own technology is not that fast, but we have to remember that in the Star Wars galaxy, they seem to have lost the art of aerodynamics a long time ago. Plus, 1,500 kilometers is still breaking the sound. So it's kind
Alright.
The TIE Reaper attack lander borrows from the design of our previous air superiority fighter. It has similar lift-creating wings that carries a large compartment that can hold an entire rifle squad. Unlike the Lambda-class shuttle, the TIE Reaper was an assault lander. It's designed to take heavy fire and insert a weak spec on was the most common shuttle used by the Empire. Interestingly enough, the multi-purpose transport was considered a relatively elegant and luxurious ship. At a well-informed period, that was more suited for diplomats and politicians than it does for a squad of sweaty stormtroopers about to AO. The Lambda class also cost $140,000 like the TIE Reaper. Both of these ships had a Class 1 hybrid drive, they had great shields, armor, and an assortment of weapons on board. The Lambda class, however, had folding wings, which took up less space on ships, and it was more commonly used by high-ranking officers and the regular military. Senior fleet systems would attempt to design more advanced starfighters to take on the robust snowfighters used by the Rebel Alliance. They had the TIE Advanced V1 flown by the Inquisitors with their curved S-foils. It is one of the first TIE fighters that had shields and a hyperdrive. Not a Class 4.5 hyperdrive, but still it's a hyperdrive. At 150,000 credits, though, the TIE Advance underperformed compared to its similarly priced counterpart. We also have the TIE Advance X1. This was a smaller profile TIE fighter, which was also shielded and had a small hyperdrive. This was priced at 160,000 credits. Both of these TIE